Hey everyone, it is me, Amanda. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before I get started with the topic for today's video. I am Amanda. I have a website. It's called amandarightnow.com, and I teach 8th grade English in the Bay Area. I also teach drama, and I've been teaching for 13 years. And I also think you should know, if you're a teacher, if you're a middle school teacher, my mission is to help middle school teachers implement reading and writing workshop, because I have found when using this method that it makes my life easier, it makes my life simpler, and I'm going to talk a lot about that today. And it also helps students feel like what they're reading, what they're doing in your classroom is actually meaningful and worthwhile and something that matters, and that they become readers and writers in real life, and that they're building habits that are going to impact the rest of their lives. So that's what I believe about workshop and why I am so passionate about this method of teaching. And I'm so excited that some of you are here live. Feel free to ask me any questions as we go on. If you hear any background noise, it's my cat. So yeah, let's get started. So we're talking about 5 powerful tools that you might not be using, or maybe you're using them, but you're not using them consistently. And I really do believe consistency is so key to managing the chaos of reading and writing workshop. And I say chaos because I am not going to lie. Like, I am a teacher too. I'm a full-time teacher, and I have 34 students in one of my classes. So I have between 30 and 34 students in each of my classes. And it's crazy. I mean, that many middle schoolers in one room, and it's not that big of a room. You could call that chaos. And trying to get them to be engaged in reading and writing, like, it's really crazy what we do as teachers. So I think it's important for us to admit that. And I think for a long time I didn't realize, well, I did, but I didn't give it the respect, like just our professions and what we do on a day-to-day basis. Like, we really need to take a step back and realize what this job entails, and just give ourselves room to breathe and room to love ourselves and take care of ourselves, and realize that, like, us thinking we're not doing enough, and us thinking that, just because 5 students aren't on task, that we're not doing a good enough job, because we are. If we show up every day with these 30 plus students and we're doing our best, like, let's let that be enough. So I have this sign that I bought on Etsy and it says, "You are enough." So I'm always trying to remind myself of that. So before I give you these 5 powerful tools, one really powerful tool that's not even on this list is realizing you are enough, and your job is huge, and you are a beautiful, beautiful teacher who's doing everything in their power to help these students. And, don't be too hard on yourselves is basically what I'm getting at. Okay, so the 5 tools, let's get to this. So the first one is just chart paper, chart paper, or even a whiteboard. And not just that. So titling your chart or your whiteboard, what to do when you're done, or when you think you're done. So having students have something that you can point to, and you can say, like, that's what you do. Like, oh, I'm done. Because a lot of teachers, I feel like the barrier to entry into using workshop is teachers. And that's one of the reasons I'm talking about this, is that teachers, and myself included when I first started workshop, was, how the heck do I manage this? How the heck do I manage students, like, at different phases in the writing process, and students doing different things at different times and finishing at different times, one of the best tools you can use is a chart that says what to do when you're done, and list off things that kids can pick from on this chart for what they can do when they're done. Another chart, really, really important chart to have in your classroom, is what to do if you're stuck. So here are the things you need to do if you're stuck, and actually modeling what's on your chart. And I'm going to show you this page on my website that has a ton of charts. Let me see if I can share my screen with you. And so here are some charts that you might be interested in using. So this is actually just, you go to amandarightnow.com /writing-charts. Is that a backslash or a forward slash? I have no idea. I'm not gonna, if you want to tell me in the comments, I think, is it a forward slash? I don't know. I always get confused about the two. So here's a giant list of what students can do if they don't know what to write. And then here is a list of things students can do when they think they're done writing. But you might be wondering, well, what about reading? What about reading workshop, Amanda? What would you put up here for if you think you're done reading? I actually don't have a chart like that. But I think, you know what? I'm just inspiring myself to make one. So what to do when you can't find a good book? And actually, I might have a chart like that, like how to find a good book, how to recommend a book. Those might be on here somewhere. Here's another done writing chart. I don't know. I'm scrolling through to find a reading workshop. No ideas, narrative writing, no ideas, information writing. So there's lots of different charts I have here for you. And I'm looking for a reading one. Okay, reading stamina checker. So this is having students kind of check to see, like, can they read for like 5 minutes straight without getting distracted? And so kind of having a chart to check themselves on that. But yeah, like having a chart that says like how to find a good book, how to recommend a book, what to do if you hate the book you're currently reading, kinds of things. So just having charts that direct students to do things without bothering you all the time, because you're managing everyone. Okay, so that is one of the tools that you should definitely have in your classroom, and this page can help. I'm realizing though I need more reading workshop charts, like right now in the moment of this of this Facebook Live. Okay, so, and I will get on that. I can't wait. I love making charts. So the next tool that you might not be using, that you should start using, and I'll tell you the difference between these two because they're kind of similar, are choice boards. So choice boards, I have a choice board every day in my classroom, and it's basically a list of choices. So priority number 1, do this. Once you're done with this, do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Or you could have like a must do, may do. So you must do this first, like finish your draft, and then you can do these things. And the may do things could be kind of more fun things, like draw a picture to go with your story, or draw a picture of a character from your book, things like that kids are more like into, you know. Lots of kids love to draw. I do make writing now, which is fun because we have like all sorts of fun, like hands-on activities for students to do, like modeling clay, paper clips, Post-its, wire. I mean, I just have all these like Legos, so you could put stuff like that on your choice board. So build the setting of your book, or build the setting of your story, things like that on your choice board if it's a must do and then a may do. So you might have a lot of things going on, and choice boards can really kind of help students, guide them through like what do they need to do first, and then next, and then next, and then next. So what's the difference between a choice board and like some sort of chart that helps students? So a chart, like what to do when you're done, or what to do when you're stuck, is kind of it's more directed at students that are just like doing something from a choice board, but they just are, it's more like helping them get unstuck or helping them figure out what to do next. So they're kind of similar, really. I mean, if you think about it, but a choice board is something you use every day, and it's like it changes every day based on what students are doing. Whereas the chart, it stays up permanently throughout a unit, if that makes sense. So charts, choice boards. Okay, this third thing, I think we don't do enough in our classrooms, and kids need this thing, this tool that I'm calling it, and that's a break. So take a break on your choice board. Put your head down and try and meditate, and teaching your students to kind of sit and breathe and pay attention to their feet, and or doodle, putting that kind of stuff. Like, how much relief will you have as a teacher if you can meet with a small group of 5 students that aren't using paragraphs in their writing, and not worry so much about what everyone else is doing and if they're on task. Like, you have some students that are meditating, and some students that are drawing, and some students that are, I even sometimes let students take a walk together, like as friends. We are social. We are, what I mean? Kids need to be kids sometimes. Sometimes I'll have like chalk, and I'll let them draw outside, during class. And so, I mean, some people might think this is a little unconventional and crazy, but I think it's a beautiful thing when you have all these kids doing, what they love, and you have time to meet with that small group that really, really needs it. So breaks, giving kids breaks, giving yourself a break from constantly needing to keep everyone on task, right? Like, we need a break. Okay, the fourth powerful tool that you might not be using to manage the chaos of writing workshop is noise levels. So, I still struggle with these. So I teach my students noise levels at the beginning of the year, and I have to go back to it all the time. And I have to remind myself to always let my students know the noise level before I let them free to work after my mini lesson. So I teach them, the noise level, the silent noise level. And I always tell students why. Why do we need this noise level? Why is it important for us to be silent right now? Why is it important that we're able to talk and whisper during this time? So those are the 2 main noise levels, is silent and whispering. And so silence, like when everyone's supposed to be reading, it should be silent, right? It doesn't make any sense for kids to be talking when they're supposed to be reading. You could always let students maybe buddy read as an incentive for the silence. So, and I'm going to go into I'm kind of getting ahead of myself right now. Okay, so more about noise levels. And then whispering, if you're having students do some sort of Google Classroom assignment where maybe they need to talk to each other about what they're doing, or maybe they are sharing their writing with a partner and they're helping each other revise, or maybe they're brainstorming and getting ideas. These situations are important. It's important for them to be able to talk. And sometimes they might get off task and talk about other stuff, and they're kids, right? But us going around and circulating really helps to keep kids on task and get them back on task. So what's another noise? So noise levels, let's see, where was I? So keeping the noise level at a whisper if they're working on writing together and getting ideas. If they're drafting, okay, so if students are drafting and they're writing long and you really want them to get a page or 2, then that noise level should be silent. It should be a silent time in the classroom. And so just making sure that every time you send students off to work, that you're being really crystal clear about your expectations and the noise level, and you're explaining why the noise level is what it is. Okay, the last and 5th powerful tool that you might not be using in your classroom, in your chaotic classroom, don't worry, mine's chaotic too, are incentives. And I actually, so there's lots of different incentives that you can use to get students to really be on task. But one of the most powerful incentives is seating incentives. So letting students sit where they want during work time, if they can be productive, and if you are willing to move them when they're not productive. So, circulating around and warning students, like, I notice you're not really getting a lot done here. Like, maybe you need to, or if it's supposed to be silent and they're sitting next to their friends, and that's an incentive. You're saying you can sit next to your friend, but it needs to be silent and they're talking, then you have to move them because they're talking, right? But you do it in a really kind, respectful way. The noise level is 0. You're sitting next to each other. You're talking. This is your warning. They should shut up. If they don't, then you need to move them back to the regular seat. So incentives. Another incentive is, okay, everyone, I want us to read silently for 15 minutes. If you can do that, I'll let you get on your cell phones. Yes, I do that sometimes. Come on, our students are so motivated to get on their cell phones, right? Or just have free time. Students love to get on the computer and play these weird games. I don't know. They play all these games on the computer that I don't know anything about. I watch them. Sometimes I play it with them. There's this one called Shell Shock, where there's these little eggs and they shoot each other and stuff. But they love these games, and these are 8th graders. And so sometimes I will say, let's get a ton done in the next 20 minutes, and then I'll let you all have free time, and they'll play Shell Shock and get on their cell phones and stuff. So if you want your students to be productive during that work time of writing and reading workshop, if you're managing many different types of readers, and we all are, and different levels of writers and different students who are at different phases in the writing process, these 5 tools, I highly recommend that you start trying them out, because I think it will help a lot especially in December. This month is crazy. Okay, thank you all for watching. I will be back next Tuesday with a new video. I love hearing from you. I get ideas for these live videos from you. So I saw on Facebook a teacher asking about, how do you manage workshop? How do you manage all of this stuff going on at once? And so that's what inspired this video. You did. So I really love hearing from you. Thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you next Tuesday.